Hello, everyone. How are you doing? I'm here to talk about the new Spider-Man Far From Home movie. Um, Hopefully, there won't be any spoilers in this, but I'm going to say if you haven't seen the Avengers Endgame movie, there's automatically going to be spoilers in this. I would recommend that you watch that first. Also, I'd recommend that you see Spider-Man Far From Home before going any further. Now, I'm letting you know now, there's going to be some spoilers in this video since it's been out for going on almost a month now. It's been out for at least 2 weeks. So it came out, what, July 2nd, right before the 4th of July. And I was just basically like to say that this movie is awesome. It's way better than the last few Marvel movies that have come out. The last few Marvel movies were good. You have Captain Marvel. It's a great movie. Great, you know, 'cause it's really the fact that the timing, and when they introduced Captain Marvel into the MCU, it's like there's no build up for Captain Marvel. Like Captain Marvel probably should have been on her second movie at least before they came to a close with Endgame. But moving on, then you had Endgame, and for me, Endgame, it was a good movie, but it was a bit too sad, too emotional, too dramatic. People will talk about certain scenes in the Endgame movie that were very emotional, or whatever. And one of the main topics is like how Iron Man died and was like Iron Man and snapped all the bad guys away. And that was, like I say, sad moment. Also, Black Widow, how she dies trying to get the Soul Stone. So that was a sad moment. And Captain America tops it off by basically retiring and going back in time, replacing all of the Infinity Stones, and he ends up going back to Peggy Carter, and they live out some sort of life at some time or another. They don't really talk about it. It's not really understood how the hell that went down or how it works, but it happens. Now, moving on from the Avengers Endgame, moving on to Spider-Man Far From Home. Oh my God! Let's see. How can I not spoiler it for you? Okay, of course, the movie is basically Peter and MJ trying to connect with MJ to basically tell her that he's feeling her, he's in love with her, or whatever, and vice versa, or whatever. And they're on this trip to, I think it starts off in Venice, and it goes from Venice to, like, I think at some point they end up in Germany, I think. Can't recall all the locations, but like I said, as you can see, the topic of the movie is the title of the movie says Spider-Man Far From Home, and the last one was Spider-Man Homecoming, which is fitting because like the last one, it was his breaking out debut movie, and he was basically preparing to go to the homecoming dance. So for them to be like Spider-Man Homecoming, that's a good call. Spider-Man Far From Home, like I say, Tony Stark is now gone, and that was his mentor. He's the one that made his suit and put him up on game and all of that. So the whole time he's saddened by the death of Tony Stark, Iron Man. Now, at the very beginning of the movie, I don't know if you've seen any of the trailers, but if you haven't, look it up. But at the very beginning of the movie, it starts off with Nick Fury in Mexico fighting there's five elemental creatures, I guess you can say, that um, we believe to be from another dimension, another Earth, or another multiverse. It's basically how they put it. And then, I don't know if you know what the multiverse theory is, but I'll break it down like this. It's like saying that there are multiple dimensions, like same Earth. You know, it's Earth, but it's in a different dimension. And they were saying that you know, like parallel Earths, basically. I My first encounter or dealing with talking about the multiverse is a TV show called Sliders. It was one of my favorite shows growing up. I pretty much everyone I've suggest watch it was like, yeah, I see why you're into the show. Uh, it's on Netflix, or it was on Netflix. You know, sometimes Netflix takes shows, retired shows, and pick them back up, or whatever. I guess based off the ratings or whatever. But I've watched it on Netflix before, so feel free to check it out. Sliders. Now, Mysterio, aka Quentin Beck, comes in and says that he's from Parallel Earth, and Spider-Man's like, "Wow," and then Nick Fury is like, "Are you gonna step up or not?" And come to find out, Iron Man left Peter Parker, Spider-Man, a set of those Tony Stark glasses. Kind of cool. Um, Basically the glasses are connected to like all the technology in the world, cell phone, defense, has like control in space. Tony Stark had these like drones orbiting the planet and the satellite, and he had control and access to that. So that's pretty awesome. You'll see how he ends up using it and what goes wrong with that situation. But ultimately, you know, it comes to a point in time where Spider-Man teams up with Mysterio and has to fight the last elemental, which is supposed to be the strongest elemental, which is fire. Yes, fire. Um, at the same time, his best friend Ned finds himself in a relationship, and I'll just let you see how that plays out. Happy and Aunt May kind of have a thing going. It's in the trailer. No spoiler there. And by the end of the movie, you'll see how they tie in Tony Stark's past from the first Iron Man to all the way to Captain America: Civil War, along with everything else that ties into that movie. That to me is when it starts getting real. The twist. And I'm not going to tell you what the twist is because I don't want to spoil it for you. But there ultimately is a twist that takes place in the movie, and you probably already can see where it's going or it's heading. But yeah, let's just say if you're a Spider-Man fan, well, if you're a true Iron Man fan, um, the Easter egg or spoiler I'm gonna give you is barf. And if you know what I'm talking about, that comes off of the Civil War movie. And if you go back and watch that, you'll see how it all plays in. Like I say, uh, Iron Man had no shortage of enemies, and that's part of the twist of the movie right there. So some enemies of Iron Man become enemies of everyone, basically Spider Man, and Spider Man has to, you know, suit up, take him down. He gets a whole new suit. He goes through three different suits in this movie. Um, he of course has the Iron Spider Man with the nanotech, and then he has basically it's like a black suit that Shield gives him when he's over there in Europe, and then he gets a brand new suit that he makes himself, and him and Happy kind of share a touching moment with that, and kind of gives Happy the thoughts and memories of Iron Man. So that is one of the more touching scenes of the whole movie to me. And they have a moment, and they're, what are you gonna do? And he was like, I need a new suit, and then he's in there creating that suit, and you know, it makes Happy think. I remember when Tony was doing suits, and creating them on the spot or in the lab and whatever. He was just really touching. And then he started. He was like, "You build a suit, I'll take care of the music." So, but yeah, this is a must see movie. It's really great. Definitely one of those movies that you want to go check out. Uh, I don't know too many Marvel movies, especially Marvel movies that are tied into the MCU. That's the Marvel Cinematic Universe that I wouldn't recommend going to see. It's a definite date movie. So, with that being said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like I said, I'm dropping his videos off left and right. This is basically my review of Spider-Man: Far From Home, and like I say, just let me know what you think. If you got any questions or something that you'd like to see me do, I'm on my way to my first 100 subscribers. So if you'd like to help me out with that, feel free to subscribe today, and I appreciate it. So when I get to 100, I'll definitely do something something special as far as videos go, other than just talking. I'm gonna find something to do or a topic that is more than just a review or something. Like I say, see y'all at the first 100.
Feel just like a rock star.